Good morning, students. In today's class of retail management, we'll continue with the topic that we were reading in the previous class or discussing in the previous class. In the previous class, we were discussing about the store layout and guide to planning of the store layout, how to make the store layout much more effective and efficient. So, when we say what is store layout is nothing but the way in which the merchandise is arranged and displayed to the customers. What are the places where the merchandise should be placed, and by this is done by understanding the traffic flow analysis or the customer flow analysis. When we understand how the customer, the traffic or navigate throughout the complete store, then we will understand, and also by understanding the places or identify the places where we can display our products in order to get the maximum benefit, to see that the people browse through all the merchandise that is kept on display. Keeping both these things in mind, we can design the store layout. The store layout is nothing but a representation of various places where the products can be merchandise can be displayed to the final customers, and so that maximum the store can be used in a proper way and maximum benefit is received by the retailer from the store layout. Because whenever the particular retail outlet is being opened, it is there is a particular cost involved in it, and we should get the maximum benefit. The retailer should get the maximum benefit or per square foot advantage or return they should get. And if we have the proper store layout, then this kind of maximum return can be gained by the retailer. So that is the reason the store layout is very important. By understanding this traffic flow analysis or the customer flow analysis, how the customer navigate through the store and what are the various places where the merchandise can be kept, the store layout has been properly decided. The store layout also depicts the various placement of the various aisles, various temporary or permanent fixtures that has to be made. This is also understood by looking at the store layout. So there is a proper certain guidelines are that we should be kept in mind while deciding upon this store layout, and to see that whether the store layout is beneficial to the retailer or not. We have started the certain guidelines. We have started with certain guidelines. We have read three guidelines, so we'll start with the fourth one. But let us recap what are the various first three guidelines that is very important in order to understand the planning of the store layout. So the guide to planning store layout that maximize the retail space. The first thing is very important is the step one, that is the target the first floor. It is very important that uh, every retailer should target the first floor. So this is the first floor is the place where the customer, when it enters into the market, it is the first floor, and this is the place where the retailer should be able to attract the customers and to see that maximum benefit he gets by from this first floor. So sometimes what happens, it is the places of rent is the place where the retail store is open, the rent is very high, or when the store is um, big convenience store or a departmental store consisting of various departments, and where merchandise has to be kept in various departments. In those cases, the store cannot be confined to one floor. So in those cases, exceptions exist, and the store has to be multiple floors. And sometimes also people, they have certain idea or perception regarding the store. If they believe that the store is a elite store or a very big store, then they should that the store should consist of multiple floors. So, and when the store is a discount seller, retailer, then it means that the store will be of a single floor. So even though exceptions exist, even though exceptions exist, the retailer should try to focus on the first floor, because if the use of these escalators elevator, they hamper with the customer flow. And it is very important to see that the customer's flow should not be hampered, and the customer should be able to browse all the merchandise that is kept for display. And after browsing all this merchandise, then the customers can make a informed decision whether to buy these products or not. So it is very important that the first step is to see that the retailer tries to target the first floor, and tries to, this first floor should be such merchandise should be displayed, and in such way it should be uh, decorated and should be placed in the merchandise should be placed in such a manner so that the customers are interested to browse more and move through the various floors of the shop outlet to buy more. So the first step is which is a very important guideline for having this proper store layout that maximize the retail space is the targeting the first floor. Now coming to the second step that is very important in planning to have a proper layout that maximize the retail outlet space is identify the customer flow. The very important is that whenever this customer enters into the store layout, outlet, it's very important to understand how the customer navigates throughout the store, what are the various points through which the customer moves through the store. So it is very important to understand this customer flow, because this customer flows tells us what are the various prime locations in our store where we can display our merchandise, what are the weak locations or not so prime locations in our store where the customers do not move around or do not navigate to browse the products. So this field is very important, and this is key for the prosperity of the store layout, a store outlet, to see that the retailer is able to identify the customer flow. And to identify this customer flow, various procedures are there, because the retailer can use the whatever the video cameras are there, and also heat mapping technique can also be used. So the various software analytics programs, software that are available in the market given by companies like Prism or Retail Next. So these companies, they provide actual information regarding the flow of customers in the shop. This data is very important for the customer, for the retailer, because the retailer comes to the understanding that how far, what are the places where the customer navigates in the store, and what are the main places of prime attraction where the retailer can keep their high margin merchandise in order to see that maximum customers actually browse through those articles and buy those merchandise. So it is very important. The second step is to identify the customer flow in order to maximize the prosperity or maximize the maximum return for per square foot area. So this is the step 2. Now coming to the step 3, that is very important in order to maximize the retail space and to get the proper store layout, is to avoid this transition zone. This transition zone is also known as the decompression zone. It is just the space that is available in front of the entrance. This transition zone is very important for the retailers to understand, because whenever the customer enters into the shop, whenever they enter into the shop, they need certain time to adjust themselves with the new environment of the store. They need to imbibe or absorb the new atmosphere, the smells, the designs, the decoration, the lighting of the store. So this is the place where the customer does not pay attention to the all the merchandise that has been displayed, but actually tries to imbibe or absorb the total environment or the feel of the store. So not very high margin merchandise or brand promotions or um, any kind of offer should be displayed in this decompression zone or this transition zone, because this is the transition phase where the customer enters into the market and try to understand the feel of the store. So this transition zone should be avoided, and no anything of value to the retailer or any high margin products, merchandise, or any kind of brand promotions and advertisements should be placed in the stores. Now coming to the step 4, that is very important in planning the right store layout that will maximize the retail space, is design for clockwork navigation. So this is very important to design for clockwork navigation. We'll understand that the next step involves or moves beyond the transition zone and shifts the focus on how to leverage a customer's tendency to navigate the retail environment. Whenever the customer enters into the store and it moves beyond this transition zone, is over this transition zone, then he actually enters into the store, and this is the place that the retailer has to focus how to leverage or elevate the customer's tendency to navigate the retail environment. It will help so as to encourage the customers to completely navigate the total retail environment, the total store, and to see that they browse all the items that are on display, all the merchandise that is on display. This is very important, because when the customer is able to browse all the merchandise on the display, then the a customer may decide on the spur of the moment to buy certain products which he or she had not thought of before entering the store. So it is very important to leverage the customer's tendency to navigate in the retail environment. That is the reason whenever the customer moves beyond this transition store, this should be the focus of the retailer. The area just outside the transition zone is where most retailers make a first impression. So this is the place when outside of the transition zone or the decompression zone, when the customer moves out from this transition zone, this is the place where the retailers can have a great impact of first impression of the customers, because this decides whether the customer, how much time the customer will stay in the particular store, how much the customer is going to buy. So this is the time where the retailer has got the opportunity to make a first impression on the minds of the customers. Customers consistently turn right after entering the store and continue to navigate the store in a counterclockwise direction. So what happens uh, whenever it is from the studies and whatever research that has been already done on the customer flow and how the customers navigate in the stores on various outlets, it has been found out that generally most of the time the customer turn right when they enter into the store, and they continue to navigate the store in a counterclockwise direction. So they see that whenever the customer they enter into the store, they move towards the right, and in the counterclock direction they browse the item that is on display. So the behavior repeats itself again and again in customer research, in consumer research. So whatever consumer research has been done, it has been seen that the customer behaves in this similar way and turns right in order to browse the various products that is on display in the store. Although research and design professionals have different explanation for the reaction in general, many recommend displaying high margin merchandise and valuable information just to the right of the entrance outside the transition zone. So although research and designs have given design professionals have various researches has been done and various explanations for this reaction of this consumer, that when they enter into the store they move to the rights, has been made. Accordingly, this high margin merchandise and valuable information should be placed just on the right side of the entrance beyond the transition zone. Because whenever the customer, research has shown that whenever the customer enter into the store, they move right into the store and then navigate the whole store in a counterclockwise manner. So this high margin value merchandise and valuable information regarding the offers that is going in the shop or the outlet should be placed on the right side of the entrance outside the transition zone or the decompression zone. This is very important for the retailer to understand. Now, after understanding the step 4, another step that we have to understand, that is the step 5, that we have to remove narrow aisles. So this step should be also followed in order to build a proper layout or to plan a proper layout that maximizes the retail space and brings a lot of benefit and prosperity to the retail outlet. Finally, follow the customer flow through the transition zone around the retail space in a counter-clockwise pattern. So whenever there is seen that there is a customer flow, we have to follow this customer flow through this transition zone and around the retail space in a counter-clockwise manner. So this happens in a counter-clockwise pattern or manner. Search for tight spaces or bottlenecks along aisles or around fixtures and display. Aisles are nothing but the racks in which the merchandise are being displayed. We have to search for these tight places or bottlenecks along the aisles or around the fixture that has been placed, the temporary or a permanent fixture that has been placed, or what are the various displays, to see that there are no very tight spaces and bottlenecks. Enough space is given, personal space is given for the customer to browse through all the items that are on display. Because if there are tight space or certain bottlenecks which hamper the movement of the customer in the store, then this means that the customer will not spend much time, will not be interested to spend much time in the store. So we have to search for these tight spaces or bottlenecks along these aisles or around fixtures and displays, and we have to remove these bottlenecks and tight spaces. Customers value that personal space when shopping. If a customer is touched, bumped, or otherwise interrupted when interacting with merchandise, they are likely to move on from the items or exit the store altogether. So it is very important to understand whenever the customers they are buying certain products from the store, they are very much concerned about their personal space while shopping. They value their customer space, the personal space while shopping. So they don't want that they should be touched or bumped or otherwise interrupted while they're interacting with the merchandise, when they're browsing the merchandise, when they're deciding whether to buy or not the merchandise. So they're likely to move on from the items or exit the store altogether if they feel that they are not having proper personal space and they are not able to browse the items properly in the store. They may be inclined to move to the other aisles or other displays without browsing all the items in the display, and sometimes they may also be frustrated with the amount of personal space assigned, and they may also exit the store altogether and did not want to purchase from the retail outlet. So that is the reason we have to see that the personal space is very important in shopping when it comes to shopping, and the customers value this personal space a lot. So we have to see that no customers is touched or bumped or interrupted otherwise, and personal space should be given utmost priority, and to see that the customers get enough personal space and browse the products that are on display or merchandise that are on display. Now, in this, we have to see that video research analysis can be done of various customer review at a supermarket. So fewer customers entering narrow aisles in the store compared to more expansive accessible walkways. So why the in the step 5 we are discussing about removing these narrow aisles? Because video research analysis, whatever the closed circuit camera is there, in order this video is recorded in order to see how this customer flow is happening in the store and how the customers navigate the store. This video research analysis of customer behavior, how they navigate the store and how they browse the merchandise that is on display or make a decision to buy the products. The customer behavior at a various supermarket or at a particular supermarket has been seen to see that fewer customers they enter into this narrow aisles. When they find that the aisles are very narrow, there is not enough space, they do not enter into those narrow aisles. And in comparison to where the aisles have more expensive and accessible walkways, there is a lot of space of personal space can be made available to the customer. So they very much interested to shop from these broad aisles where a lot of space is there, expensive and accessible walkways is there. So narrow aisles should be altogether removed, should be not placed in the store, and enough personal space should be given for the customer to browse all the items on display, and so that the customer decides what to buy and what not to buy. These aisles send positive signals to shoppers and positively impact the customer flow and merchandise interaction. So why this narrow aisle should be removed and more expansive and accessible walkways should be made should be used? Because these expansive and accessible walkways, they send a positive signal to the shopper that they can browse the items on display without being touched, bumped, or interrupted with. So this sends a very positive signal to the shoppers, and the shoppers are much more interested to browse the items and follow the customer flow, and the have proper interaction with the merchandise. And actually, by browsing all the merchandise at a display, they make an informed decision whether to buy the merchandise or not. So why this is important? Because when they browse all the merchandise, it is sometimes happens the shopper or the customer may feel on the spur of the moment to buy certain products or merchandise which they had slipped out of their mind while making a list of products they're going to buy from the particular shop. It may come to their mind, then they may recall the particular product that is needed by them, or the merchandise needed by them, or they may make a purchase. So it is very important to see that they have enough personal space, so that expansive aisles, expansive broadways, walkways should be available, so that they walk through the store without being interrupted, and they can interact with the merchandise in a much more proper and efficient manner, and then take a decision whether to buy the merchandise or not. Therefore, the retailer has to avoid these narrow aisles and corridors when planning the store layout. So it is very important to see that the retailer avoids this kind of narrow aisles, and while planning the store layout, they make space for this expansive and accessible walkways, because these customers, they generally put a lot of value on this customer, this personal space while shopping. Now, coming to the step 6 is proper utilization of the store space. So whatever store space that is available to the retailer, this space should be utilized in such a way so that the maximum output or maximum profit is gained from the retail space. We have to maximize this retail space, because this retail space comes at a cost, and this proper utilization of the store space ensures that the retailer gains maximum revenue from the retail space, or maximum per square feet revenue is generated. So that is why it is very important to see that the retailer understands the and maintains proper utilization of the store space, striking the right balance between the space used for display and the service area. When we say proper utilization of store space, we mean that the retailer should be able to strike a balance between the space used for the various display and the various service areas that are provided in the store. So the balance should be maintained by the retailer. Having enough space between products and fixtures and give your customers their personal space. So this also says that there should be enough space between the various products and fixtures that have been placed, temporary or permanent fixture that are placed in the retail store, and this should give the customers their personal space, because when they have proper personal space, then the customers will be much more inclined to purchase from the retail store. They will be much more inclined to spend more time in your retail store, and when they spend more time in the retail store and when they browse all the items, there are chances that they will make much more purchases, so that the return on investment is maximum and the revenue generated per square foot area is also maximum. Why it is important to strike a balance between the space used for display and the service areas? Because this will ensure that there is maximum return on investment on the particular retail space, and the revenue generated per square foot area of the retail space is also maximum, because this ensures the profitability of the store, this ensures the prosperity of the store. So the retailer has to strike a balance between the space used for displays and the service area, and they should try to provide the maximum personal space to the customer, so that they browse through all the items that are on display and make purchases accordingly. Now coming to the seventh step, that is the last step, is after undergoing all the first six steps, the retailer should be in a position to select the right floor plan that is good for his retail outlet. So this is the last step in the uh, in the planning of store layout, which acts as a guide that maximize the retail space. That to see that after understanding all the 6 points, the 6 steps that is given above, the retailer should be able to select the right floor plan for its store. Your floor plan plays a critical role in managing store flow and traffic. Why this store layout is very important? Because this store layout or the store plan, floor plan of the store, this is very important and critical, because it helps in managing the store flow or the traffic flow. We want to manage the traffic flow. We want that the traffic or the customer should flow or navigate throughout the store, and there is no tight spaces or bottlenecks in the store, and we want that the customer should browse all the items that are on, or items or merchandise that are on display. We should have a proper floor plan, and this is very important to see that there is a proper customer flow in the shop. The choice of which one is right for you will depend on the number of factors, like including the size of the store, the products that you sell, and more importantly, your target market. So what kind of floor plan or store layout will be essential or will be important or will be right for the retailer is very important to understand, and this can be understood by keeping certain points in mind. First, is the size of your store. Depending on the size of the store, if the store is such that you don't have enough space, then you are bound to have this narrow aisles. You cannot remove this. You cannot have this accessible long walkways, broad aisles, so that ensures maximum space, personal space to the consumer. So first you have to see what is the size of your store. Then you have to see what are the products that you're selling. So product that you're selling that requires a customer to browse through the merchandise or to select the merchandise after navigating the store and seeing at the various or browsing at the various merchandise on display, then you should have a floor plan that is okay for you. And if at all the product that you are selling that does not require much browsing of the merchandise and that can be decided by looking at the catalog or what is the list provided, then the an amount of personal space does not matter and the floor plan should be accordingly selected. Also, who is your target market and whether they are interested to browse all the products or merchandise that are on display while making a purchase. When if you are having a high-end store or if you are a discount retailer, that also decides your target market or the target customers also decide the kind of floor plan you want to have. If you have a very elite store where a lot of elite customers or very wealthy customers comes to make purchases, they will prefer much more accessible and broad walkways, so that our narrow aisle should be altogether removed and proper personal space should be given to see that they are able to make purchases by browsing all the items on display. Whereas when you are a discount retailer, you may be not having enough space, and in those cases, since your target market is not very wealthy or not interested to browse all the items before making a purchase, you can have a narrow aisle. So depending upon your kind, the size of your store, depending upon the products that you sell, and more importantly, the target customers, keeping these things in mind only, we can design the right floor plan that is okay for the retail outlet. Picking the right store layout design will allow your customers to shop your store with ease. Why this store layout or the right store plan and the store layout is important from the retailer's point of view? Because this ensures that the customers, those who are entering your store, they can shop with ease in your store. The first thing that the customer wants, they want is ease of purchasing this merchandise. So when they enter into the store, the shop or the outlet, they should feel that they have enough space, and this allows the customers to stop in your shop in your store with particular ease, with a lot of ease. So this is very important. So there are questions you have to ask when deciding on your store layout. There are certain while deciding upon the store plan or the store layout, there are certain questions that the retailer need to ask itself, and then decide upon the particular right floor plan that is good for his retail outlet. First, what are your customers like? Are they shopping in a hurry, or can they take their time? Do they prefer self-service features, or will you associate guide them throughout the store? Do you want to find exactly what they need efficiently, or are they open to discovering items along the way? So these are the various questions that the retailer needs to ask itself. First, they have to understand what are the kind of customers they are visiting the store, whether the customers are high end or whether the customers are wealthy, or whether the are customers who don't want the products at a very value purchase price. So that is very important. The second, we have to understand, are they shopping in a hurry, or can they take that time? So when they are shopping in a hurry, then there is no need to provide such accessible and broad personal space, and the aisles can be very narrower. So this is very important. But when the customers, they want to take their time in order to browse various merchandise, a proper customer flow should be there. The customer should be given a proper personal space so that they can browse all the items with ease and then make a decision. So this is very important to understand whether these customers, they are shopping in a hurry, or they can take their time while deciding whether what product to buy or not. Do you prefer self-service features, or will your associates guide them throughout the store? This is also very important to understand. If there is self-service, then they will browse the product themselves and then they will decide So this requires a proper floor plan which ensures that the customer is able to navigate throughout the store through there is no tight spaces or bottlenecks in the store. Whereas if you have a certain guide, associate guide them throughout the store, then they will understand what product to buy, what not to buy. So depending upon whether the store is self-service or it has salesman, accordingly the floor plan will be changing. Do you want to find exactly what they need efficiently, or they are open to discovering items along the way, whether whatever items they are interested in purchasing, whether you are going to give them, provide them very efficiently and they need not visit the complete store or browse through the complete store or navigate through the complete store, or they are given this opportunity of discovering the items along the way by discovering all the by browsing all the items in the display. So what kind of convenience are you giving to the customers, whether you are finding the products for the customers or whether the customers are having enough opportunity to browse all the items in the display and then decide what to buy, what not to buy. So these are certain questions that the retailer must ask itself, and then they decide the store, they decide the right floor plan and decide the store layout. So very is important for the retailer to understand these questions and answer these questions. While there are plenty of store arrangements or layouts that can help you or that you can adopt, the most commons are the grid layout, the racetrack layout, the diagonal layout, and the free flow layout. So various store layouts are already available for the retailers from which they can decide which store layout is good for them. But before deciding this store layout, we have to understand that certain very common store layout that have been generally preferred by the retailers. Some of them are like the grid layout, the racetrack layout, the diagonal layout, and the free flow layout. There's the main four layouts that have been generally preferred by the retailers. Also, a combination of all this also being used by retailers to see that the consumers who are customers who are entering into the retail store, they are having this ease of purchasing and they have a very good shopping experience with the store. So we will understand that while it comes to choosing a store layout, you don't have to pick one of the above, the many of the above, and many successful retail stores use a combination, as we have discussed that you should not constrain yourself to a particular store layout and you can pick one of the above, but also can very successful retail stores to use a combination of various layouts that is being available. So rather it comes down to the products your store sells, the space that you have available, and deciding what you want and your customers to do upon entering the store. So the store layout should be based on what are the products that you are selling, what is the space available at your end, and deciding what you want your customers to do when they enter into the store, whether they can decide on their own, they can browse all the items, or whether you are going to provide with them rather efficiently what are the products that they are requiring to buy. Your store layout acts as a powerful tool for communicating and creating the image of your store for your customers, and you need to present the right image. Why this store layout is very important? Because the store layout is one of a very powerful major tool for communicating and creating the image of your store in the minds of the customers. Because whenever the customer should think about your retail store, they should think that your store has a proper layout. When if the store has a proper layout and the ambience is good and the items are displayed, there is proper lighting, there is the fixtures have been properly placed, the aisles are very broad and it is very easier for the customers, they have enough personal space, it will have a very positive image in the minds of the customers. Whereas if the store layout is not right, if the store layout is very crammed up and there are very tight spaces and lot of bottlenecks are there, then the customers will not feel the ease of shopping in the store. So this store layout acts as a powerful tool for communicating and creating this image in the minds of the customers. So it is very important tool, and this is very important because you need to present the right image to the consumers, because you have to present the image to the consumers that the shop has a lot of merchandise and it is easier for them to browse through all the merchandise, they have enough personal space and there is ease of shopping and they can have a very good shopping experience in a store. So if this message or this image is presented in the minds or projected in the minds of the customers, then they will be very much interested to purchase from your store. So these are the various guidelines for planning the proper store layouts that will maximize the retail space, that will ensure that the retailer gets the maximum benefit out of the retail space. The per square feet return on the retail space will be maximum. Then in the next class, we will be understanding, in today's class, we have understood what are the various guidelines for planning the right store layout. In the next class, we'll be understanding the various essential store layouts. We have discussed that the grid layout, the racetrack layout, the and diagonal layout, and the free flow layout. So these are the various layouts that we'll be discussing in the next class. Please go through this video. Please go through the notes that I will be sending you digitally. If you have any doubt, no need to panic, contact me. And finally, thank you for your attention.